Good afternoon. I'm Dean Mickelson. I'm the editor of Oil and Gas Middle East, and today we are in Saudi Arabia for IPTC, and we are talking to Sherif of NESR. So, welcome.
Thank you, sir.
And my first question, where I kind of want to go is, can you explain more what NESR is working on here in Saudi Arabia and how you see the company growing?
So, as you know, NESR has started back 5 years ago, 6 years ago now. And we've used the biggest national companies to make it the biggest national company in the region. And we've been growing steadily over the last 5 years. And obviously the region is growing market-wise, rig size, portfolio. So now today the company is definitely the largest. I would call the largest national company in the region. We have around 6,500 people.
That's substantial growth over 6 years.
From 1,000.
Yes.
5 years ago. And revenue-wise, the company almost tripled, more than tripled actually in revenue. So, and we are everywhere in the Middle East, which is good, right? So we have a very nice base in Kuwait, Iraq, UAE, Oman, and definitely our largest business in Saudi. So more than half of the company is in Saudi. And we added a lot of portfolio of the segment to make sure that we cater and provide services for the customer that answer all the difficulties or the challenges now with the oilfield sector.
So what segments are growing in your portfolio?
So today, obviously the biggest growth is the frac. Our fracturing business is the biggest now. We started from nothing. We didn't have frac, and back in 2019, under the leadership of Aramco, we actually went and told them, we can do the same type of jobs we do in the US with our partners. We can replicate this in Saudi Arabia. And we don't need to do 2-3 stage a day. We can do 12-13 stage a day, which basically makes the unconventional economical because you need to do more stages.
So now you're turning unconventional economical.
It is obviously Saudi who led that, Aramco who led that. We were just an enabler by doing our services to ensure that we were the first company in the Middle East to do these number of stages per day. We are actually, the best record was 4. When we came, we started with 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Today, Saudi does 18 stage a day, 23 hours of pumping.
Do you see unconventionals growing here as well?
Absolutely.
To complement the conventional oil?
Absolutely. I think everybody talks about it. His Royal Highness, NASR. Everybody talks about it very big. The unconventional in Saudi became economical. What they did here is, I would say, second to none. World-class development from the understanding of the exploration phase until production. And that's where I would say they did a better job than the US. Because the US, they are where they are with the development of unconventional because of statistical model. They did hundreds of thousands of wells. Here you cannot afford to do hundreds of thousands of trial and error.
No.
They did a lot of science first, and then they developed it properly. And now they're going to get the first gas in 25,
27. Went that way,
exactly.
The science,
and spend money on the science at the beginning, and they optimize it when they perfected it.
And that's how you're running the company as well. The science drives the company into other aspects as well, like your new technology, Roya.
Yes.
Downhole.
Absolutely. Yes. So as we did very well in the company for our what we said core business or the main segments, we went to develop our own IP and go to sophisticated electronics with downhole tools. And this is a journey that is tough. So we decided to do that 3.5 years ago. And we invested in two startups in the US, bought them and give them money. And we developed, basically, we looked at whatever exists in the market on the rotary steerable, MWD, LWD, how can we get features that are better and make it our own? Okay. And this took basically 3 years. And then we started deploying the tool to test them in the US. With the rotary steerable.
Testing in the US?
Everything is done in the US because of the ease of testing, right?
Okay.
The wells are next door to the development. Something that happens to the tool, you can go back to the product center,
so in Texas,
fix it.
Basin,
exactly. Everything is in Texas. And we did it on our R&D center in Houston. We developed the 3 tools. and we run the jobs very successfully. Then we came to Oman. We did our LWD tool, run very well, and we did the comparison. Data were excellent. And the tool, what I call triple combo plus plus, because it has more features, but in one color only. So I don't, and the drillers like that. They don't have to have a connection. They have one color, and they have the triple combo plus the azimuthal gamma ray. So spectral gamma ray. So that's where they like it, and it's closer to the bit. Then we developed our MWD tool, where basically, again, we wanted to have a high frequency rate than the market. So you have a leadership by two of the international service company, and this will become the one after, but it caters for all our needs, basically. And then the big gorilla, I would say, in drilling is the rotary steerable. And rotary steerable is very hard to build and very hard to prove reliability. So we built it. We drilled around 70,000 feet. 70,000 feet in the US.
Okay.
Now the tool is here in Saudi Arabia. We launched it yesterday, and we are going to drill in the next couple of months trial in Aramco to prove that the tool can perform. And then obviously after that you need to get run. So the key of all this is really you need to have a good support from the customer to be able to accomplish that. And Aramco is perfect client to work for.
They're more like a partner rather than a client.
Absolutely, absolutely. And they encourage new technology, they encourage development, they want to try new things. So it's really a pleasure to work for them.
And looking ahead here, is Saudi Vision 2030 as well.
Yes.
That decarbonization comes into play.
Yes.
Aramco using oil funds to fund the net zero transition.
Correct.
And you guys just created a new program called NEDA.
Yes.
Can you explain more about NEDA?
Yes. So, I'm personally a believer of decarbonization before it became fame, if you like. So we launched that during the FII in Riyadh in January 21. And we called it ESG because it's the big name, ESG impact. How can you really make an impact, not just talk?
Environmentally, sustainability.
Absolutely. But you make a measurable impact. You can see it, you can measure it. And as we put a lot of technology in it, and a lot of, if you like, it was in infancy, some sensors to measure methane, water, etc. And we did some pilot projects that were very successful. We decided to, after the COP28, to rebrand as well. And we called it NIDA, which is actually Nida in Arabic, which is call to action. So let's stop talking, execute.
And let's take this call action
now
to make
I
it happen
have
now.
application. So it's a NESR environmental decarbonization application. Now I have proven technology because it's not anymore talk. It's not a startup. It's not a test. I have 2 pilot tests extremely successful, again, with Aramco. I have a project that I run now for water in Iraq to take the brackish water, the unused water, and make it brine.
And in southern Iraq, Basra area?
Yes, in Basra, working for Bekel, and I made a press release on it with the client. And this basically shows the world that the industry not only can decarbonize themselves, but they can actually become a provider to minerals and fresh water to the community when there is no water.
Which is extremely important right now in Iraq.
It's a poverty. We have this is the world highest poverty for water per person.
Yes.
So can you imagine we dump 5x the water for the oil we produce? So if I can take part of that, first of all, I prevent the industry from using fresh water in their work. So I keep this to the community and to agriculture. In addition, I can start to have excess when I make scalable project to give back to the community and give back salt. I was just selling them 10%, just 10% of the water we dump. If I can take the salt from it, clean it, it's enough for 5% worldwide of sodium chloride, the entire world. So I don't need to mine it.
Exactly.
So I just recover it, and that becomes the full carbon circular economy, right?
Yes.
Because you take from, You take the water, you recycle it, you make it good for what you need to do, and the minerals that comes out, you extract it as calcium, sodium, etc. And imagine if we have lithium,
Yes.
becomes very good for renewable.
Exactly.
And that's where we need lithium for batteries. And it's very rare because it's only 50 ppm. So, and that's what they do, for example, in Chile. And in some, so there is a lot of technology the industry can do. And I think that narrative will resound very well with the youngsters, with the people outside the industry, to see that, oh, this industry is responsible and they are doing some action.
This industry is making change happen.
Exactly.
They're realizing, okay, we've done this so long for so much time.
Yes.
But we can change. We can
Yes.
make our society better around us.
Exactly.
Not only do we contribute by cleaning, but we also contribute by saving the air better,
Absolutely.
downhole work,
Absolutely.
and we're bringing technology forward.
Yes. Biodiversity, agriculture, make parks. Imagine
Yes.
people go to the oil field, instead of seeing sand and lakes of oil, they see parks and trees, and
Exactly.
we can. It's not
believe
that.
it.
That's why we just need to make it economical.
Yes. So where do you see NESR growing in the next 5 years?
I think the company will keep the same growth profile because, again, we're relatively small. So we have a space to grow at that rate, 15-20% per year. And I think the addition of the decarbonization can take us to plus 25%. And then we can get to scalable project, we become something else, right? Because we might team up with some different industry to make something very unique. So I think the company growth and the future is very bright.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you.